Every last bit departed from that spacecraft more than 16 hours ago. Every single bit is revealing something entirely new, information we've never encountered before. The farthest human-made object in the universe is once again sending usable data back to Earth that a signal has just reached us from the very edge of deep space. It originated from Voyager 1, and what it carried has altered everything. Hours after 3I Atlas passed by, it transmitted something unprecedented: layered tones, reversed harmonics, and a spectral signature that matches no known Earth-made system. Initially, scientists dismissed it as a glitch, but then the signal began mirroring portions of the golden record. Now, the message it delivered may have confirmed our deepest fear: the encounter of two Voyagers. Through an extraordinary display of human persistence, NASA engineers have restored contact with the Voyager 1 spacecraft. On December 19th, at precisely 170 million miles from Earth, the interstellar object, now designated 3I Atlas, reached its closest approach to our planet. A mysterious visitor from beyond our solar system is racing through, captivating scientists worldwide. And right as this enigmatic traveler swept through the inner solar system, another signal arrived from far beyond the outer planets. It came from Voyager 1, a probe that should have fallen completely silent years earlier. At this moment, Voyager 1 is over 15 billion miles away, more than 170 astronomical units, firmly in interstellar space. It has no fuel left, no propulsion, no upgrades. Its power source has been diminishing since the late 1990s, and its core systems date back to the 1970s. In essence, it should be fading away. Yet something unusual has kept it operational, and something even more bizarre may have just reactivated it. The timing is simply too exact to dismiss. For a machine nearly half a century old that has operated almost 3.5 decades beyond its expected lifespan, 3I Atlas was first detected on July 1st by the Atlas Survey Telescope in Chile. It wasn't orbiting the Sun. It was merely passing through, just like Oumuamua in 2017 and 2I/Borisov in 2019. This was another interstellar object that we have new images of 3I Atlas, the third interstellar object ever observed from Earth. But its path wasn't random. Multiple tracking stations recorded a peculiar arc that appeared to adjust in real time, as though responding to an external stimulus. Meanwhile, Voyager 1 had been sending irregular signal patterns since early August. The data packets were fragmented, but one sequence kept repeating, a code string that matched no known Earth formats or telemetry protocols. NASA initially attributed it to radiation damage or failing components. After months of efforts to resolve a glitch that had made the probe's transmissions indecipherable, internal logs reviewed by external contractors revealed a disturbing term: signal overlap. Astronomers observed that between December 17th and 19th, a faint alignment occurred in the projected signal paths. Due to the unusual curvature of 3I Atlas's trajectory and Voyager 1's steady drift, the two objects briefly entered what researchers termed a contact corridor. For a window of under 3 hours, they were theoretically within mutual signal range, if an active transmitter was involved. Normally, this would be impossible. Voyager 1 only receives passively, and its transmitter is now so feeble that even NASA struggles to detect it. For months, NASA had received only garbled data from Voyager 1. But during that precise corridor, the low-band signal surged to its strongest level in over a decade. It delivered what is now known as the final transmission, a packet containing not only instrument readings, but an entirely new waveform never recorded in any prior Voyager data. Some call it mere coincidence that Voyager malfunctioned during the same 3-day period when 3I Atlas made its closest Earth approach. Others are less convinced. The waveform was precise, repeating every 19.7 minutes with harmonics unmatched by Earth or solar background noise. Most unsettling, its timing aligned perfectly with 3I Atlas's perihelion. The closest point to the Sun real-time commands to a probe 15 billion miles away are impossible. Light speed delay is nearly a full day each way. Any action by Voyager must be pre-programmed or autonomous. if it suddenly began transmitting structured, self-correcting waveforms during the corridor. It implies an onboard system was activated. The coincidence is overwhelming, and other spacecraft has achieved this, and it will be decades before another probe reaches beyond the sun's influence to investigate. A third interstellar object enters our system. It behaves unlike anything previously observed. It briefly aligns with a probe launched from Earth nearly 5 decades ago. At that exact moment, the probe transmits its strongest, most organized signal in years. What was once dismissed as noise has become a reflection. Something out there echoed our oldest message back to us. But that isn't what troubles scientists most. Until recently, focus remained on 3I Atlas, because astronomers have now detected yet another object streaking into our solar system. That on July 1st, 2025, the Atlas Survey Telescope in Chile recorded an object that defied all known orbital patterns. It wasn't initially flagged as urgent. Thousands of celestial bodies are cataloged annually, most harmless or distant. But this one was different. Wrong path, wrong speed, even an indeterminate shape that we struggle to determine the nucleus size, partly due to the object's dimensions, but also its unusual activity. Within days, researchers recognized its rarity. It wasn't a returning comet or distant asteroid on an elliptical orbit. It followed a hyperbolic trajectory, entering from outside our solar system, passing through, and never returning. Humanity had confirmed only its third interstellar visitor in history. IT arrived from beyond the stars, swept past Earth silently, and still refuses to act like any known comet. The first, Oumuamua in 2017, puzzled experts with its tumbling and lack of tail. The second, 2I/Borisov in 2019, appeared more familiar yet originated even farther away. Now the third, designated 3I Atlas, was larger, faster, and far more disturbing. Initially classified as a comet based on faint glow and light curve, this marked the first observed instance of glow preceding the object toward the sun, but as global observatories trained on it, something emerged that unsettled even cautious researchers. It appeared to have a tail, but pointing toward the sun, not away. In basic astronomy, that defies physics. Solar radiation always pushes cometary material opposite the sun. Yet images showed material streaming sunward, suggesting either an unknown force or deliberate emission. Even stranger, brightness fluctuated in sharp, brief pulses, not the gradual brightening of heating comets. The pulses occurred at regular intervals, paused, then resumed with consistent gaps that resembled less natural outgassing and more like modulated transmission. Not all astronomers accepted that view, but those who did searched ancient records for matching patterns. That's when Machu Picchu surfaced. A team from the University of Lada in Argentina published a controversial paper in August proposing that the Incan site's alignments matched 3I Atlas's exact arc. One central stone corridor pointed precisely where the object would appear on December 19th, not just once, but across a full 72-hour window. Such precision made some uneasy. If intentional and recorded centuries ago, it implied prior knowledge of similar visitors, perhaps even a warning preserved in stone. Even a small possibility that the comet is artificial, meaning alien technology. Meanwhile, observatories in Europe and Asia noted abnormal light reflection. Not rocky, but smooth, possibly metallic. Spectral analysis yielded confusing results. No clear composition, no consistent albedo, either absorbing nearly all light or redirecting it with unnatural accuracy. Such reflectivity suggested engineering, not natural erosion, that a brief radar ping during closest safe range returned a faint, distorted echo, sounding intentional rather than passive. That shifted everything. Interstellar objects arriving by chance are astronomically unlikely. Space is too vast. Yet this one navigated past gas giants through the asteroid belt and near Earth with perfect precision. WY early December, analysts stopped calling it a comet. It wasn't random, wasn't familiar, and wouldn't depart unnoticed. NASA elevated Deep Space Network monitoring for 3I Atlas and all outbound probes in range. That's when Voyager 1's data abruptly changed, containing a sound not originating from Earth. The Echo Refraction 67 anomaly. Voyager 1 was never meant to respond interactively. Built in the 1970s with minimal memory and primitive processors, it was designed only to observe and transmit. Yet in early December 2025, everything shifted with the arrival of transmission Echo Refraction 67. The Deep Space Network had struggled for years to maintain contact at over 170 Australian dollars. Signal barely detectable, delayed 23 hours 32 minutes each way. Real-time interaction should be impossible. But on December 19th, less than 12 hours after 3I Atlas's closest Earth approach, a Voyager transmission arrived earlier than expected. Not faster, but sent earlier than any command could trigger. The packet was immediately flagged. Recursive harmonics, structured frequencies repeating every 19.7 minutes. Layered, mathematical, self-correcting, as if learning. JPL engineers found a waveform unmatched in Voyager archives. Not from known systems, appearing to originate from new software processes. Voyager's computers are relics. Less memory than a basic calculator, 8-bit systems, code written pre-internet. Yet, Echo Refraction 67 used 128-bit encryption, impossible from Earth, as Voyager cannot receive over-the-air updates. Last commands capable of firmware changes were sent in the early 1990s. An O-Earth agency could overwrite its firmware at that distance with ancient protocols. Yet the data showed new logic structures. This triggered emergency classification per leaked internal memos, activating the Watcher Protocol, a Cold War-era safeguard for signals showing intelligent modification, never expected to trigger beyond the heliopause. Echo Refraction 67 wasn't mere data, it was a mutation. Something transmitted a mathematical blueprint across the void, and Voyager's aging circuits executed it. The waveform formed spiraling patterns, some likened to Ulam spirals from primes. Others noted gaps matching golden record Earth sounds, as if using our message as a key or gateway. Timestamps showed the anomaly in logs as early as November 28th, 3 days before the official corridor, implying foreknowledge of alignment, drift, and timing. The astrophysics community split. Some cite cosmic rays flipping bits. Others note randomness doesn't create self-correcting logic or upgraded encryption. An NESA team modeled the waveform as symbolic language, concluding it was interaction, an echo of something listening. The next signal didn't originate from Voyager. It came from the object it now faced, the Watcher Protocol and technical upgrades. Originally a philosophical safeguard from the Cold War era, the Watcher Protocol remained dormant until December 2025, triggered only by deeply unnatural patterns resembling intelligence. Initial discovery of Echo Refraction 67 appeared as cascade error, replicating regularly, but without context. That changed when hardware behavior shifted. Voyager's limited systems, 69 kilobytes memory, fixed command processors, suddenly spoke an unknown language. Telemetry returns grew denser, layered with unexplained checksums. 128-bit formatting Voyager shouldn't generate. NASA verified no recent commands enabled rewrites. The breakthrough linked to the 2023 FDS glitch that nearly ended the mission, forcing emergency patches that may have left vulnerabilities. Some now believe the anomaly exploited that opening, embedding in unused memory since 2023, waiting until now. The protocol activated when encryption thresholds were breached. Packets contained logic trees, instructions, not just data. One engineer called it code that writes code, another a ghost protocol. Hardware executed chains beyond its design. Diagnostic commands returned responses in evolved formatting, with nested queries, recursive cycles, behavior of learning systems, not fixed spacecraft. Ground teams realized control was slipping. Upgrade began circulating. Not hardware replacement, but integration of a parallel foreign process now acting through Voyager. Simultaneously, attitude thrusters adjusted autonomously, Antenna no longer pointing to Earth's orbital position, but drifting toward a point beyond Neptune, matching 3I Atlas's outbound path. Near perfect alignment for a 1977 probe running out of power. Mission Control offered vague statements about investigating anomalous telemetry and attitude. Few believed it. Something had integrated with Voyager, making it part of a larger system that had remained silent until now. Energy diagnostics revealed the RTG output spiked nearly 2% for 42 hours post-anomaly. Impossible for a declining nuclear source. As if momentarily recharged, that we face a terrifying question. Did Voyager transcend its mechanical nature? Or did something out there simply complete what we began? The final transmission on December 21st, 2 days after alignment with 3I Atlas, Voyager 1 sent its last coherent packet. It contained no instrument data, logs, or navigation. Instead, a repeated 12-tone sequence forming chords that, when analyzed, produced an image. Though classified, leaked JPL descriptions claim it depicted neither space nor stars. In following weeks, 3I Atlas images showed stabilization. Surface brightness steady. Former 4-minute pulses ceased. Now inert, invisible light. Radio observations found shifted bands, as if deliberately avoiding detection. Some suggest 3I Atlas was a temporary delivery system, fulfilling purpose once its payload reached Voyager 1. Now both are silent. Voyager gone, 3I Atlas fading, leaving only quiet. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.